Hi, welcome to the show. My name is Joy Harrington. I am your host. And today we're going to talk about getting the vision first. Last time I talked with you, we talked about the worn out entrepreneur and how to start breaking the cycle of being a worn out entrepreneur. And I told you to go on a 30-day detox. I wanted you to stop consuming anything. I wanted you to stop consuming anyone else's message because anytime you consume someone else's message, you are in danger of watering down your own message or potentially taking on theirs, which is kind of a breach of integrity when it comes to your brand. And I know because I did this for years. Okay. I did it for years and it bothered me because I could feel it, but I didn't really know what else to do. And it is a subconscious thing. We will subconsciously take on what we are consuming and turn around and start sounding like it, right? That's just how we're wired. And so, the best way to start building a brand or business that is authentic to you is to immediately cut out any outside voices for a period of time. So, 30-day consumption detox, here we go. I gave you some questions in the last one. I gave you 4 questions to help you start figuring out what makes you different in your space. Because if you don't know how to differentiate yourself in your space, you will get lost in the crowd. It is a pretty saturated market out there, no matter what field that you are in. And so you have to learn how to show up and sound different than your competition. And you have to be able to point out how you are different than your competition. So if you missed the 4 questions, you can go back to the previous episode and catch up on those. Today is your next steps. I told you to do a 30-day detox. I told you to reflect on those questions. And then I said, come back for your next steps. So boom, here they are. We're going to talk about getting the vision first. Building a business for the sake of building a business is the fastest way to turn on unhealthy masculine mode. It is the fastest way to build something that you inevitably don't even want. And it's the fastest way to build something that then you feel confused, you feel unclear, you feel comparisonitis kicking in, where you're constantly comparing yourself to other people in your space. And it causes you to pivot, because you can tell deep down that it's not totally your thing because you built a business just really for the sake of building a business and having money. There is nothing wrong with this. And I did this again for years. I'm sharing from experience here and sharing the things that I've now learned along the way. However, if you want something that is sustainable, that's long term, that brings you joy, that you feel unique in, that you feel grounded in, that you feel clear in, that you feel confident in, that can grow with you instead of you constantly needing to just pivot what you're doing, you have got to start with getting the vision first. So, the first time I did this led to my biggest launch in my business. And it was the easiest launch I ever did by far. And I've talked about this on previous episodes, but it happened in May of 2021. And literally, it's because I started with the vision. I wouldn't have known it at the time, but I was learning how to connect to my heart and how to go in through my heart and basically catch a vision first before creating something. Before that, I always just was like, well, what could I sell next? And I created something based on what I could sell. Nothing wrong with that, again, but it was more, it took more like brain power, right? It took more like intellectual side, more masculine side, more strategy side, because it was all based on like, what could I sell instead of what do I feel inspired by? What do I feel called to, right? What's this like vision that I'm getting? And therefore, I want to put some action behind it. Do you see the difference? So, get the vision first by meditating daily. And when I meditate, I don't follow something super specific. Sometimes I do, but a lot of times I just turn on really beautiful music onto some headphones and I connect with myself, one hand on heart, one hand on belly. I take some really deep breaths and ground myself. And then I just open, right? I try to connect to my heart. I try to picture my heart and like feel my heart and appreciation for myself. But then I really just open to what's going to come to me today. All right, God, what do you want to bring me today? Right. And I allow different ideas and different thoughts to come through. I don't try to necessarily push them away. I let them come in, and I will actually keep a journal with me and write them down as they come, because I find that then I can really let them go if I actually write them down. Otherwise, I'm going to keep stewing on it, keep stewing on it. So meditate daily. And when you're meditating, connect to a vision of you in like full on purpose, soul, heart led vision mode, right? Like doing what your soul is here to do mode. Doesn't mean you have to know what it is, but who are you in that mode? Connect to how that person feels in that mode. When you are in that mode, I want you to pray and ask God, who am I here to help and with what? And see what comes. And whatever comes, write it down. Then ask, what gaps do I see in my industry? And write down what comes. I don't care how it sounds. I don't care how silly it is. I don't care if you're like, oh, well, that's not even true. Write it down. Write it down. Who do I have a heart for? Write it down. Who do I know that has wanted to work with me but didn't, and why? What is the theme between people that have wanted to work with you and they didn't? Could I teach them how to solve that reason they didn't work with me? Or could I teach them how to get past that? That's how I came up with my group this last time, the coaching mentorship group. I had seen coaches coming to me wanting to build a coaching business, and their top reason for not working with me was obviously like money was a big part of it. And they didn't even know like how to build a business. So they didn't really want to like spend that kind of money on a coach yet. Totally understand that. And so I was like, I'm going to teach them how to make money. I'm going to teach them how to build a successful coaching business because that's what they want. That's what I would teach them anyways if they were working with me on a one-on-one basis. And that's what they were coming to me for anyways, for a one-on-one session, right? For a one-on-one package. So why not put that into a group format, lower the price because it's a group, and give them what they wanted in the first place? Do you see? It was like, I want to help these people that came to me, but couldn't afford it. So I'm going to do what they wanted. I'm going to give them exactly what they wanted. I'm going to teach them. I'm going to go above and beyond to help them get this outcome. And then I'm going to give it to them at a better price point for them because they're in a group. Write down any of the ideas that come to mind as they do, and then go back into your meditation and being open. And if you write them down as they come, it'll be easier for you to let them go and just open up to more and to more and to more. And wait to get the whole vision. My problem in the past is I would get like part of the idea and I'd be like, okay, I'm going. And I would just like jump and be all in and like start making it. And I wouldn't wait for the whole vision. And it led to kind of sloppy or half-ass work, right? Or this like rushed project that didn't have time to become a whole baby and get to birth mode, right? My friend Busy always talks about like pregnancy analogies when it comes to like birthing a business, but you're birthing a business and you need to give it time to go from getting pregnant, right? Conception to actual birth, baby actually born. Stop rushing that process because it is a process. So I want you to give this time from conception to birth. Sometimes you might not get the vision in one day. I didn't get this vision in one day. I got the idea and I was like, all right, I'll keep marinating on it. And I kept marinating on it and I kept marinating on it. And then it was like one day, that's when I got the rest of it, which was like, okay, this is what the topics would be. This is what I would teach. Here's all the 6 teachings. Here's all the topics for them. Boom, 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 boom. It like all came to me at once. And I was like, once I had all the topics, all the teachings, the structure of the course, right? That's when I was like, okay, this could be something. But I still didn't jump yet. I was like, I'm going to wait until I get everything. And so then I got I got all the ideas for what all should be included. Should they have one-on-one calls? Should they have Voxer support? Should they have blah, 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 right? All the details that came with it. An in-person event, like what all should be involved based on what would give them the biggest transformation. What would give them the biggest transformation, but not be overwhelming? What would actually make them feel supported, but not overwhelmed? And I got all of that. And then I still waited for the final piece. And I said, how should I launch this thing? It was like a prayer to God and a question to myself. How should I launch this thing? What's the plan? Because I don't like the way I've done it in the past. And so I said, well, what would feel good to me? And I was like, what would feel good to me is not really being involved, right? Like what would feel good to me is having all of the work done ahead of time. And so it was like, do that. It was like write out a series of emails, have them go for over 7 days, give it an application, have there be a deadline to sign up. And I was like, okay, I'm going to do it that way. And I'm going to get all of this done ahead of time. And I would encourage you to do the same thing. Get your whole strategy, get everything, every part of what will be involved for what you want to do. Wait until you get all of it. That's the vision. You want the vision, the whole picture, and then it's your job to reverse engineer. But you start with the vision and then you reverse engineer. So I started with the vision of who I was here to help and what problem I was going to help them solve, blah, 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 what I felt called to. I made sure I felt called to that and qualified for that. Then it was like reverse engineer, reverse engineer, reverse engineer. Then I gave myself time to actually get all of the work, the pre-work done ahead of time. So I did some market research, not a ton, but I did a little bit. I got my list made for people that wanted information. And then I literally sat down and wrote all of the emails ahead of time before they were even going to go out, before they were even going to kick off and start. And when I wrote them, again, I connected to my heart. I didn't sit down and be like, what's my head, right? What's my strategy? I sat down and I was like, what story do I want to tell them? Right? Like, why do I want to tell them why I'm making this in the first place? Tell people why you're doing this in the first place. You know, why did it touch your heart? Why are you here to help? Why do you feel called to this? What changed for you? Or what was your problem that you overcame? Stories, stories, stories. Okay. I told him a story. And then I thought, you know what's going to happen after this? And they hear about it. They're going to connect with the story. They're going to say, that's me. They're going to want all of it. Then they're going to read the details. And they're going to go, oh my God. And their fears are going to come up because anytime there's money, people's fears come up. It forces them to start addressing those fears they haven't yet. It's a beautiful thing. So I was like, what fears are going to come up? And I was like, well, they're going to have fear around money. And so I was like, what am I going to tell them to that? So I even thought through like, what are the fears that are going to come up for them? And what could I tell them for that? And I was like, I know that you're feeling this. Like, I know you feel called. I know you want to do this. And I know you're feeling scared. And I want to tell you that this is your line in the sand moment that you will look back for the rest of your life and say, I'm so glad I did, because I know I have done it myself. Right? I told them again a story. What happened to me when I faced it? How did I feel? I basically, instead of just saying like, this was my story and how I overcame, I started with that, right? Like, this is my story and this is why I'm creating this group for you. But then when I went into addressing their fears, I went into like, this is what I would tell the former me. Daesan, can you just cut that part right there? And I'm going to start with, then I went into like, this is what I would tell the former me, right? If I could have a conversation with that Joy that was about to make that investment or that really felt called to that investment, but was super scared, what would I tell her? And I was like, oh my gosh, I know this is how you're feeling. And I want you to know that you're right. And like, you will never regret this. This is your line in the sand moment. You are going to become someone completely different. This is so exciting for you. And I'm so proud of you. And I'm so glad that you're doing this. So I walked through their fears. I gave them more calls to action. I called them forward into who they truly were. I told them this was their moment, and I invited them to join. Got all of the emails written. I did a series of 7 emails, got them all written ahead of time so that I didn't have to be involved, so I could be completely detached from the outcome. And that is the last piece I want to give you. When you actually launch the thing, you want to be able to be detached from the outcome. And for me, that meant I needed to walk away. I needed to let them go out. I needed to let the emails go out. I needed to let the applications come in when they came in. I needed to go play while all of this was happening and be in celebration mode. So I went into play mode. I went into feeling good mode. I went into like pouring into myself mode. I was at an event where I just got to focus on me and like working on me and like having fun where I was at. And anytime I thought about this group and this launch, I just like celebrated. I literally turned on a song and I would dance and I'd be like, I know they're coming in. And I'm so fucking excited. I'm over here dancing, celebrating them as they come in. They're coming in. They're coming in. They're coming in, right? The whole time. I wasn't watching the stats, because sometimes if you watch the stats or you watch how the launch is going or you watch how people are responding to the emails or the posts or whatever it is, you start making up a story about what it means. Oh, it's not going to go well. Oh, it's getting less engagement. Oh, people aren't, right? You start making it mean something. I was like, nope, not going to make it mean a thing. So I'm not looking. I'm just in celebration mode. I already did the work. I'm trusting in it. I'm trusting in that work, and I'm celebrating them coming in, coming in, coming in, coming in, coming in. All right. That is how you start with the vision. And then you are able to reverse engineer and do all of this pre-work ahead of time. And then you can detach from the outcome and actually build from that vision. This is building from your vision. This is building from your heart. Instead of like, well, what can you sell to make money? That's awesome. So here we go. Like, here's your strategy. Here's how we're going to make all of this happen. Here's how you're going to do this live launch. Here's how you're going to blah, 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 blah. Nothing wrong with that. But I'm telling you, if you want longevity, if you want sustainability, if you want to be different in your space, if you want to build something completely unique to you, if you want to have fun, if you want to be in more feminine mode, if you want to enjoy it, if you want to take the stress and the pressure away, you have got to build with the vision and heart first. So that is your next step, is go get the vision. Go sit in meditation and ask God for it. Ask God for it and ask for confirmation every day. Ask for it to come again, come again, come again. And when you're asking for the vision, please let go of what you think it should be. Let go of what you think it should be, because it might be something totally different, but we're so stuck in what we think it should be that we can't even see the other thing that's trying to come through. So that's why asking these questions will be really good when you're in meditation. And ask other people around you, what do they see that you could help them with? Huh? That might be a great way to get some feedback. What do you see that I could help people with? That's a great question. All right, go get the vision, go start meditating on it. That is your next step. I will see you back here next time. Quick reminder that in the membership group right now, we are doing a kick-ass feminine energy challenge. It's 30 days long. We are doing different practices every single day to bring feminine energy into our lives, into our relationship with our significant other, to bring back the spark and to help move the needle forward in our business every single day in a fun, pleasurable, using your intuition and your heart and your vision way. So if you're really wanting to incorporate more feminine energy into your business, if you're really wanting to get into ease and flow and pleasure mode and less out of hustle and grind mode, you want to join the group. And right now, this month only, we have a give 10, get 10 for our members. If you are a member in the group, you have a special coupon that will let you invite a friend into the group, and they get to try the group for their first 30 days for just $10, which is amazing. And if they do that, you get $10 off of the group breathwork session that I am hosting for this group come the first weekend of October. So if you're in there, stay tuned for all the details. If you're not, go get in. We would love to see you in there. The link is in my bio on Instagram. It's joyharrington.ig. The membership's called Level Up Babe. Would love to see you in there. I do live coaching in there. So you can hop on and get coaching with me. And I would love to see you in the group. Go have a beautiful day.